Frank J. Avella with the Contending. Moshe Rosenthal's second feature, Tell Me Everything, just had its world premiere at Sundance. This exquisite work features an extraordinary performance by rising star Ido Tako. I'm happy to have him here to discuss the film and also to have Moshe here as well. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So, how has the Sundance experience been so far?
Wow, just an incredible ride. Really outworldly. That's like it feels like we're in a different time zone and that exists only for movie lovers, and the energy here is just incredible. It's been amazing.
That's great.
What do
Moshe?
you
Yeah,
think?
for me too.
I'm
I,
curious, did you guys get snow there? Because
there was actually one night that we got snow, and it was actually for me it was the most
Are you talking
special
about when we
when we got
exited?
out of the movie.
Wow, super magical moment.
We were in a screen when we got out suddenly, and the film was great, so we were very happy.
Yeah,
And we came out, and it was snowing, and
it was magical.
people were just like talking about the film and freezing, and it was just looking around, being like, "Wow, this is something
Yes.
else."
it's incredible.
So
We're
yeah.
completely snowed in here in New York.
Oh
Are
yeah,
you?
you're in New York.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wish we were like a little bit more snowed
No,
in.
no, no. It was in New York before
Oh
Sundance, so it
yeah,
was
it
too
was a
cold.
mess. It
This
was
is this is like summer
yeah,
compared to New York.
yeah, but I kind of wanted to experience the snow, though. Snow fights.
We
We can, we
snow
can,
fights.
we can. Thank you. Arrange
It
that.
is a snow fights, yeah.
So tell me, Ido, how did the project come to you? And Moshe, tell me about the casting process.
So yeah, maybe I'll start first.
Yes, sure.
Um, I think the it's really complicated to cast a family because there's a lot of components, and you need to find a way that each dynamic would work for their own story, but then they all will work together and that they will look similar enough. And here we also had like the, younger boss and older boss, and to make sure that they both almost, look alike enough, but also carry the same energy and something that will, that the transformation from a 12-year-old boy to a 23 young man wouldn't be too jarring, and that was something that made Ido's casting a really complicated thing, because we find the Yair, who plays the little boy, and it's very rare to find like child actors that are just brilliant. And the moment you find something like that, you know that you have to, choose the other actors accordingly. And I think with Ido, it wasn't really. I mean, they kind of look alike, but it wasn't really about the visual aspect. It was more that I felt that they carry this like same, I would say, like unaware sadness in them.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, a lot of charisma that I think that I thought that, especially with Idoi's charisma, felt very important for that part of the film, that we kind of like transition into almost like a new storyline and a new time period, and we need like a very strong character actor that could suddenly, bring more life to the film. And he has this energy that I thought that would, benefit the film a lot. Um, and yeah, and also he has something in him that he like, I can see some ghosts in his face. Like he feels like a like a great performance, because he can make you feel like he's I don't know, hunted. And I don't know, I'm not saying that it's the person, I'm just saying like that's his abilities on screen.
Well, no, I have to say, even in Come Closer, because he has such a significant part in that, yet it's such a small role, his face was so important in that film. So
Yeah.
sorry, Ido, I'm speaking as if you're not there, but
No,
tell
thank you, thank you. I'm just here melting into myself.
tell me
And
about how you got the part.
I've heard about this script from a friend of mine who's a director a long time before I got an audition, and I've heard it's one of the best scripts he ever read. And then I got the chance to finally audition for it, and I got the audition, and it was the scene with the dad by the end of the movie. And I read this monologue, and I just felt I have to do it. Like I wanna do this scene so bad. I wanna commit to it so bad. And I didn't read the script yet. I just read this scene, and it was so rich and so beautiful and so challenging. I really I became obsessed. And when I become obsessed of a project or a director that I want to work with, um, it's either I do it or either someone dies. And now, until now, nobody died. And I feel like I was in pursuit of this role and had to go and audition for it a couple of times and really prove myself for Moshe that I'm the right person for this role. And I'm glad that I did. And when I read the script, I was just like, okay, I need this. This is something that I want to do. This is exactly what interests me at the time. And yeah, and I went to his house and we started talking about it, and I was so excited. And then when I really met Moshe, it just made my appetite for this project even bigger because he really challenges you and pushes me to interesting and new places. And so for me, it was like a no-brainer. I gotta do this role, and I connect with it. And yeah.
I want to speak more about that final scene in a moment, but the I want one of the things I really and I loved so much about this movie. To me, it examined these ingrained cultural ideas that we have about masculinity, and I think Boaz is, without necessarily knowing it, actually challenging them.
Mm, yes, I agree. It's an interesting role. It's an interesting part because he is not, let's say, like the most masculine, powerful man. He didn't grow up to be that way, but he is the man of the house. So he is in a very specific spot, which was a very interesting nuance for me, I think, to take this sensitive child and letting him grow as the man of the house, but he's still that sensitive child, still that very gentle, cheerful child. And I think that's something that Moshe was important for you, and we really kept that because I sometimes, as an actor, I can bring a lot of heat, a lot of I don't know, how would you call it?
Like
Crazy
energy.
wildness, energy, and that's not what was needed for this role. I think it was needed more gentle, quiet charisma, like Yair, really like Yair. And it was a lot of this role for me was just, not messing up what he started. And, just like segueing the audience to the next chapter of the movie, helping them get to that catharsis.
But I also think that in an interesting way. It's also similar to the work that's been done with Asi, who plays Mayor, the father, because also when we talked about his character, it was about the differences between the person and the role that he has to portray in the family dynamic.
Yeah,
So it's a lot about the responsibilities you have when you are the, how did you say,
the patriarch.
like the man of the house, the
Yeah,
patriarch, and the way that sometimes can conflict with with where you are in life and the things that and your real personality. Um, So yeah, I think we worked a lot about the way that Ido should hold his body, you know, where he should put his hands, because Ido is like his hands always like somewhere, and and that didn't sound good. But in the movie it was like he should always have his hands in his pocket, and he's always trying to kind of like you know, pretend like he's in control, even though in his face you see that he's completely
The
lost.
the metaphor I found for myself was like he's always kind of trying to walk between the raindrops. He's
Hmm.
always kind of like not trying to cause, but then it just it it it
Burst out of it.
it bursts out sometimes as it does when you internalize guilt.
And then the movie builds to this beautiful scene. And I think in the hands of a different director, and this is kudos to you, Moshe, it could have gone horribly wrong. And it's just it I thought it was perfect. Can you speak to working together to get that scene right? Was it all scripted? Was there any improv there?
Which scene?
The
The
last
scene
scene,
between the father and son at the very
Oh,
end.
so it was completely scripted actually, and we talked a lot about this scene. This was the audition scene, like I said, and I think we had a like
it
correct
was.
me,
What? No,
ma,
are you gonna talk about
ma.
how hard it was?
No,
Okay.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say something else
Okay.
completely. I was going to say that I think we were off for a really good start, that we were on the same page with this scene and understood it. So we had time because we were such in a good place. Okay, we know how it's done. We know like the clear way to do it, and we know like the rhythm for it. But now let's push it and let's try to find something even more specific to it. And the way that it's built, the climax, me not looking at my dad, those are choices that we made, and also like stuff that I had to connect with in the moment, of course. But it was, this thing of not being able to look at him from all this guilt. I'm not. It was something that we kind of discovered, I think.
Yeah. It's also, I think it was one of those scenes that you rehearse, but you also tell the actors like don't go too far in rehearsals, because we're gonna push further doing shooting, and you don't want them to try to repeat something that they've already done in rehearsals. So there was this combination of like spontaneity
And nuance and like
and yeah.
it
And also, I gotta say, it was really a hard day. It was really difficult to, we shot the whole sequence in one day, and it was almost like, you're filming, for a month plus, and at some point you feel like, oh, you're doing this different small scenes. Some of them are like, emotional, have like an emotional peak to it, but you know that there is one scene, one in one day, and for both of them, Ido and Asi, that, in a weird way, that's absolutely the most important scene, the most important performance that they need to give. So in those type of days, there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that we pulled it off, and we didn't give up, even though it was really hard to get there. And there's something about, really, I think the exploration that we did is about how can you express your need to communicate, and your inability to do so at the same time,
Yeah.
and what is the unsentimental way to give an emotional catharsis. because it is a very cathartic moment, but at the same time, it needs to feel realistic for the characters. So yeah, so that's kind of like the balance that we were looking for.
There was that longing too for a connection. I mean, there was the hugging scene, which kind of then foreshadowed him being able to hug his father. And because I went through a bit of an Ido Film Festival, seeing the ending of By His Will and the touch there, that kind of all came together for me.
Yeah, I guess it's my something in my realm, in my world.
Yeah.
It's longing.
So this isn't the greatest time in the world right now, anywhere.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not in my country for certain, but in Israel in particular. And I wanted to ask you, can you speak a little bit about navigating your career amidst the turmoil?
Um, well, I, I really think that for me, and it's mainly because I'm not a political filmmaker. I don't have any aspirations to um, you know there's a very clear difference between who I am as a person and my views and who I am as a filmmaker. And I really believe that in this, very divisive time, the only thing as an artist that you can do, and especially for my type of work, is to just make the most, just like humanly, like generous films that can unite us instead of divide us, and to, and yeah, and to not agree and not accept and to not allow to politicize my films, because I want to make films that are for everyone, even for the people who don't want to see my film, who don't want to know about me, or can categorize me as Jewish or Israeli or gay or whatever they want. Like, I want them to see the film as well. So in many ways, I think that that's kind of like the only path that I can see clearly and feel. I don't know, just like that if I need a mission, that is my mission, to just make honest and
Yes,
humanistic and just good work.
I feel the
You
same.
know,
I
let's
feel
just talk about good work.
exactly like my goal is just to become the best artist and actor and filmmaker I can be, and I want to work with the best, and I want to do with the best, most interesting stories, and but I want to work with people, that they want to work with me, and
Yeah,
that's it. But I want to do it in a way that it's all about the art. It's all about like the work. It's the craft. It's this holiness of cinema that I don't let anything touch it,
yeah,
and I try to keep it that way.
Well
and
expressed,
also
I think.
yeah,
Uh,
and also I just want to add that like our that this art form is unlike the media or social media. This art form is it has the ability to say complicated things, and it has the ability to allow you to experience different perspectives, and that's what we need to do. We don't need to pick and choose sides in every conflict. We need to give like an artistic experience that is like um you know um just like cinematic and not whatever political.
well, and
Yeah.
this film, both of you have made a film that argues for understanding, empathy, acceptance.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think that in a
And
way,
talking,
but
just like
yeah,
having.
communicating
yeah. I think
and
that
reaching out.
the title of "Tell Me Everything" in a way is almost at this point almost feel like a request to to be able to
Mm.
embrace the complexities and to and to be up for a conversation.
Yeah. Uh, Ido, I saw that Where To is world premiering at the Berlinale. Can you tell me a little bit about that film?
Well. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's another film that I've done. It's I don't want to say too much, but it's a story about unrequited love and being lost in a big city. Um, it all takes place in a taxi, and it revolves around the relationship between a Palestinian taxi driver and an Israeli young man who moves to Berlin. And their story unfolds through 2 years of connection, and I won't say anymore.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. Can you both speak a little bit about who your film heroes are?
Wow.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have so many. Okay, so I have one, and like I have it always in. You know what I'm gonna say that I'm super obsessed with Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's like my hero, my idol, and he's like for me just the best. He's not the actor that I fell in love acting with. Like I was as a young kid, I was watching Leo DiCaprio and falling in love with cinema and Scorsese movies, and but when I discovered Philip, I just like I fell in love with the craft. I fell in love with it in a deeper level, and I feel like for me, he is the greatest and ever. And there's not really the greatest in this game that we play here, but for me, he just moves me so much, and the way he elevates a story, every role that he does, just takes the whole film forward, and but does not. Um, I would say like it's like I don't know, it's pure to me when what he does. It's just pure storytelling, acting in its finest, and I just he's a hero. He's a gigantic hero of mine.
You know, I just rewatched Boogie Nights, and even in that
Wow.
film where he has a smaller role, he does propel the story forward. It's pretty
He just
amazing.
he knows he has this he had this understanding, I guess, of story, of script, and how he can shine in it, but don't not
Not
shadowing like the film only shining in its own like small place, but it just makes it he creates worlds, he creates worlds
Yeah.
through the pages, and like with small scenes he just makes, we talked about the talented Mr. Ripley,
Yeah.
let's say, and where he just does this character that appears only for like, let's say, 5 scenes, but he has this gigantic universe to him and this bravado, and but he does it in
Yeah.
every role that he
It's
does.
like he's one of those actors that I'd love to see a film about the small character that he does in every
Yes,
movie that he has, you know? Like
Yeah.
I'd love to see a movie about
yes,
the character from Boogie Nights or the character from like
yeah.
that would be a good character study.
Yes. And also
Um,
Sean Penn for me. I'd say. I'm just add another.
can I have one more?
If I can add just
One
another
more.
one more.
For me, the truth is that I find it hard to be to pick one. I think that and it's a good thing because filmmakers that I like have like careers that keep on changing, and sometimes I lose interest in some period, and
For
when I grow up I'm like suddenly, oh, actually that period is actually good for me now. So it's also about the relationship you have with the filmmakers. But I would say that I took a lot of I think inspiration from filmmakers like Todd Haynes was a big influence on
mm,
me.
Mm.
Um, I guess in a way Ken Russell and but then it's like yeah, they had like the 2 3 movies that are like I don't know, Fellini.
mhm.
Ken
I think
Russell is one of those filmmakers that no matter what you think of the film you're watching, he's always unique. It's always an interesting watch. Tommy, for instance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in Tell Me Everything, there was something about just the energy of like 70s rock operas that I felt like that's kind of like the channel that I wanna connect to. And in a way, it was an interesting experiment because on paper this is like a very, I guess, dry family drama, and that idea of saying like, okay, this is a family drama, but I'm gonna do it like Ken Russell was doing Tommy, like I'll take that energy and see what happens when you mix those
Mm.
two. So yeah, usually my references are very, you know, different than the
Yeah.
actual film, but something in their um, charm and magic I wanna, take
Yeah.
or steal.
And also, I gotta add, I gotta give a shout out to Olivia Wilde because I've watched her like two movies here, and oh my God, I was blown away by like her performances and her direction is just incredible. Like, there's so many
No, you're just
actually.
trying to be a friend. You want her
Well,
to text
Olivia,
you.
if you hear this, no, but for real, it was, I'm just
She's a
excited.
fan.
I'm a fan of cinema, a big fan, and
I
it's
can
fun
I
to
can
be here.
tell. Yeah. Well, let's just briefly about the 70s. I mean the 70s, about the 80s where the film is set, and then the
Sure.
90s. Did you find yourself doing a lot of research into that time period, especially when it came to AIDS and how gay men were treated?
I mean, I did the research that was necessary, but I think it was very clear to me that I'm not gonna try to be as accurate, even though it was important to be accurate. But it was more about my memories. It was more about the vision I had to that period of time, because this film is really based a lot on a child's perspective. So I wanted to just engage with those ideas. So, the details in the film are nothing was taken out of another movie about the 80s, or like we didn't have any references from cinema. All of our references was from my family photos. And we just took the pictures and started copying the rooms and the exact posters that my sister had in their room. And so that's how we created those, like that level of details, which made it like extremely accurate, but also extremely personal and not something that I read in a book. Um, and yeah, and it's really about it was really about finding my own vision for the 80s, because it feels like we've seen a lot of portrayals of that period. It almost feels like it's hard to be original in doing that. Uh, but I don't know. For me, I always felt like I have a different vision of what I've seen many times before, and it was part of it was that my memories were also kind of like traumatic. So a lot of like the sensitivities of the 80s aesthetics felt for me a bit more grotesque and scary.
Mm.
So I wanted to play on that. And yeah, so it was like a strange combination of like collecting your memories and fueling them with your traumas, you know?
Ido, did you do research into the time period?
No, no, I'm kidding. After this gigantic answer, but no. Actually, I love the 90s. The 90s are such an amazing time for music and art and clothes, and it's a peak for me. Growing up, I've been loving the 90s and the style and connecting with it. So the research was I did it before, let's say before I even got the part. But Moshe actually made me a playlist of songs, music from the 90s to send me like the tone and the vibe of what's going on. And I kind of researched the 90s in Tel Aviv because that was something that I wasn't familiar with. Tel Aviv, in Israel, in Hulon, like that scene of that punk scene that took place at the time. And also everything that happened in Independence Park, because
Yeah.
because Independence Park is this real park
Yeah.
where gay people had like interactions there where it was like, you know,
Like a cruising
taboo. Yeah, like a cruising park, but it was a very famous park. And I wanted to learn about that history and to really, yeah. And like Moshe said, it was really all about the memories, you know, it's about like, yeah, ears memories and like the younger boys. So for me, it was less about maybe learning about the 90s and more about learning about the actor, like the younger actor,
Mhm.
and who he is, and how does he see the world, and how does he walk, and his engagement, and his way of, I don't know, moving around. And I took a lot of inspiration from the real kid, like behind camera.
Yeah, we have our
That's
own
the,
park here in New York, the Ramble in Central Park.
Is it
My final
still
question.
active?
That I don't know. I don't
Mm.
know. I got lost there once and had to run screaming. So, uh, my final question to the two of you, what do you have coming up next that you can talk about? Then for you, besides where to?
Yes, you start.
okay. Well, this hair is not my choice. It's for a new role that I'm doing. And I'm so glad that I get, you know, after this week of intense film gushing and talking and, you know, energy and passion, to just go straight from the airport to set to continue working. And because at the end of the day, that's everything. And I'm actually collaborating with the same DP as our film.
Ah,
So it's really nice, and it's from the director of. His name is Shmulik Maoz. He won Venice a couple of times, and it's
The director of Lebanon
Lebanon
and
and
yes,
Photo.
Photo.
great film. Yeah,
He's an amazing, very interesting, very interesting artist. And I won't say any more about it, but I'm excited for it.
that's enough. Okay, Moshe.
Um, yeah, I'm actually have um, I'm doing this
Loading me apart.
TV project. I'm doing this TV project that is based on a true scandal, kind of like a sex tape story, but very wild and heartbreaking. And I'm also working on my third feature, which hopefully it will be. It's just a very ambitious thing, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But let's say if it was, you know. An accomplishment to get back to the 80s and you know, do it accurately. My new ambition is to go back 100 years back. So let's cross fingers. I can pull it
Okay.
off.
Well,
Fingers crossed
you
then.
need some good actors for it. And some good people.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll think
know.
about it.
I love it. Well, guys, I want to thank you. Israel, if you're listening, this should be considered for the Best International Feature next year. Just putting that out there. Love this film. Wish you guys all the best with it, and I look forward to seeing what you both do next.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Likewise.